Hey, it's Adam Grant from Work Life, a podcast from TED. This episode is brought to you by Freshworks. Freshworks believes that complexity is the enemy of efficiency. So stop wrestling with bloated, expensive service software that takes forever to implement and update, where ROI is someday, not today. You've been overcharged and underserved for way too long. Uncomplicate with Freshservice for IT and Freshdesk for customer support. And with Freshworks AI-assisted service software, you'll work smarter, not harder. Freshworks uncomplicates. Learn more at freshworks.com.
On today's Smart 7, positive news on welfare bill, Trump restarts tariff wars and much more. It's Tuesday, 8th of July, it's video game day, and happy birthday Maya Hawke and Isabel Hines-Thompson.
The Smart 7. It's news, but not the news.
There was some good news for the government on Monday, as a new independent impact assessment of the changes to the welfare bill suggests that the changes will now see 50,000 people lifted out of poverty. However, Chancellor Rachel Reeves still has to recalibrate the budget to cope with the loss of potential savings. Monday saw the government move to reform the EHCP system. That's the education, health and care plans, which give pupils who need it access to special educational support. It's estimated that almost 5% of pupils now have EHCPs, and they're the next target for the government's reforms. Education Minister Stephen Morgan was quizzed over plans to amend rules on special educational needs or disabilities.
It's absolutely right that we work really hard to reform the system to make sure it works for every child. We want to make sure there's good quality, inclusive mainstream education available for all children. That's what our focus is on delivering.
Labour MP Peter Swallow says the current system is far too complicated and difficult for families to understand.
Lots of families are finding that they effectively have to become lawyers or full-time advocates for their kids just to get them the essential support that they need. And that's why it's so important that we reform the system.
Donald Trump had a busy Monday with tariffs back in the spotlight, although the dates for implementation seem to have shifted again. The White House are now saying that August 1st will be the new tariff date, and rather than coming to individual agreements, they've just started firing out letters to countries on social media. South Korea and Japan were the first two up, both receiving 25% tariffs unless they move their production to the US.
I'm saying here it is, congratulations, welcome to the United States. I hope you make a lot of money and you're going to pay us money. They were ripping us. They were charging us tariffs at levels that nobody's ever seen before. We have some countries who are charging 200% tariffs.
Israeli PM Netanyahu was in the White House to discuss the possible 60-day ceasefire with Hamas that negotiating teams in Qatar have been working on, but there was no sign of progress. Instead, he announced that he'd nominated Trump for a Nobel Peace Prize.
I want to present to you, Mr. President, the letter I sent to the Nobel Prize Committee. It's nominating you for the Peace Prize, which is well-deserved, and you should get it.
Thank you very much. This I didn't know.
Monday marked 20 years since the 7th of July attacks on London. 52 people died in the attacks on 3 underground trains and a London bus, with over 700 injured by suicide bombers, later identified as Islamic extremists. King Charles used his anniversary message to call for people to stand united against those who would seek to divide us, and Prince William was at a memorial service in St Paul's Cathedral and then laid flowers in Hyde Park. There were tributes too to emergency responders and those who treated the injured in hospitals across the city. Lord Mayor of London Sadiq Khan had a warning too for any who wish the city harm.
The message we want to send today to anybody thinking about future cowardly acts of terrorism is you will not defeat us. We will not forget those whose lives were cut short. We have in our thoughts and prayers their families, but also we're resilient, we're stoic, and we stand united.
America is struggling to cope with the aftermath of dramatic flash floods in Texas. At least 100 people appear to have been killed, and 10 girls and a camp counselor are still missing. They were camped along the banks of the Guadalupe River, which surged over 25 feet in the space of an hour, washing away many of the missing. The White House pushed back strongly on accusations that recent budget cuts had left the US Weather Service understaffed and late to provide warnings. US Senator Ted Cruz, who represents Texas, said the state has been stunned by events.
Texas is grieving right now. The pain, the shock of what has transpired these last few days has broken the heart of our state. The children, the little girls who were lost at Camp Mystic. That's every parent's nightmare.
Still to come on today's Smart 7 in association with Metro, Wimbledon heats up as we head to the quarter-finals and Doctor Who gets a grilling right after this.
Hey, I'm Elise Hugh, host of the podcast TED Talks Daily. For more than 20 years, Paylocity has been leading the way with cutting-edge work solutions like on-demand payment, which offers employees access to wages prior to payday, flexible time tracking features, which enable staff to clock in and out through their mobile device, and numerous other cutting-edge solutions that simplify collaboration across HR, finance, and IT. Learn more about how Paylocity can help streamline work and enhance business outcomes for your organization at paylocity.com/simplified.
Welcome back. Monday at Wimbledon saw the round of 16 wrap up, while on Tuesday the quarterfinals get underway. Cameron Norrie is due to face Carlos Alcaraz at 3 p.m, and Aryna Sabalenka faces Germany's Laura Siegmund. There was more drama along the way on Monday, as Yannick Sinner was pushed hard by Grigor Dimitrov before the Bulgarian had to drop out because of injury. After a first set scare from Australia's Alex de Minaur, Novak Djokovic bounced back and won the next 3 sets to secure his quarter-final spot. He was perhaps a little distracted by a famous guest and rival watching on, Roger Federer.
I mean, it was a very difficult encounter, a lot of challenging moments for me. You know, sometimes I wish I had a serve and volley and a nice touch from the gentleman that is standing right there. That would help.
It's not often that Doctor Who pops up on Radio 4, and Ncuti Gatwa might not be in a rush to return. Nick Robinson was keen to get to the bottom of the latest Doctor mystery, although he didn't get very far in his inquiries. Technically, Gatwa is now an ex-Doctor after the series finale appeared to show him regenerating as Billy Piper, but he's moved on from the role and was appearing on the Today Show to talk about new play Born with Teeth. It's a Royal Shakespeare Company production that is due to hit the West End, and the former Doctor plays Christopher Marlowe alongside Edward Bluemel as Shakespeare.
It's so nice to be back on stage. Yeah. Love theatre. I feel like it's... And working with Daniel Evans as well is such a generous, beautiful director. You get the luxury of rehearsal time and space in theatre, which is... You can't beat it, isn't it?
There's a new movie on the way starring Taron Egerton called She Rides Shotgun. It's sort of a Bonnie and Clyde story if Bonnie was 11 and Clyde was her dad. Anyway, Taron plays an ex-convict who has been released from jail but is still being hunted by his enemies and has to go on the run with his estranged daughter, Polly. It stars Egerton with Anna-Sophie Hager as Polly, who you might remember from the Colin Hanks sitcom Life in Pieces. It's due to hit cinemas in August.
Steele's gang put a green light on you two. He's got cops on his payroll.
Everybody is looking for you. What did you do?
Seatbelt, Polly.
I gotta tell you, I don't ever want to see you pull a trigger again. Okay.
You've been listening to The Smart 7. We'll be back tomorrow at 7 a.m. Hit that follow button and have a great day. Give us 7 minutes, we'll give you the world.
6-time Emmy Award winner and Tony Award nominee Jean Smart returns to Broadway for 12 weeks only in a world premiere play about a writer whose words are her only way out.
Call me Izzy.
Get tickets at callmeizzyplay.com.